If you are a fan of watching Asuka enjoying herself while she has a diarrhea, this is the figure for you. Hi and welcome back to the channel. Steven right here with this week's figure news fix. We'll be taking a look at anime scale figure as well as third-party resin figure pre-orders between 13th to 17th of June 2023. There are two titles, two ways I can sum up this week's figure news. The first one will be for among the genuine anime figures. This is Kotobukiya's week. Last week, Mega House went on a spree of re-releasing stuff. This week, it is Kotobukiya's turn. For the resin figure department, this is a degenerate week where some of the weirdest fantasies and fetishes that people have, you guys are getting figures along those lines this week. So we'll explore them quite soon after we are done with the genuine figures. So firstly, let's jump into AmiAmi.com as usual, and then in the top 10. Unsurprisingly, the top two places we have Genshin Impact stuff. Yes, Kamisato Ayaka scale figure by Apex Toys is on pre-order now, first place. In second place is that boing boing bouncy thing I mentioned in my Facebook page. We'll take a look in a second, even though that isn't a figure technically. In third place, we have something from Pokemon. And then what else? Rounding up the top 10, we have 8th place, a re-release of 02. I'm not surprised at all. 9th place, a pop-up parade of Hestia. Alright, so 17th of June, there is only one single scale figure, a 1x10 scale budget figure, and also an action figure which I normally don't cover, but I would like to highlight it. So this Arctech Possible Series Honkai Impact 3rd Rita Umbral Rose version 1x8 scale. Normally 18,000 yen, now you can get it for 16,630 yen by Apex Toys. This series of action figures, right, normally I don't cover them, but this is an exception because number one, this is Honkai Impact 3rd, very popular game and franchise. Second thing, this is not a typical possible figure, this is 1x8 scale. So at 1x8 scale, which is close enough to our typical scale figures, right? This is a jointed figure. At 16,000 yen, this is actually not a bad price at all, but what do you expect? I mean, this is Chinese company, they offer a bit more value compared to Japanese companies. Personally, I'm not that big of a fan of possible or action figures simply because, those joint lines, they are not very aesthetically pleasing for a photographer like me. I don't like those joints over there. Well, except if it is a mecha stuff, then normally we expect to see joints, but this isn't, right? But to those of you Honkai Impact 3rd fans, I would say this is a great purchase. Go and pre-order one if you like what you're looking at. Up next, from Mietos, we have a 1x10 scale Daji, the Adventure of Time version Gift Plus. I think Gift Plus is a name of a product line, right? Like pop-up rate, for example. I think Mietos Gift Plus is their line of affordable figures at 1x10 scale. So this is just 5,000 yen. Of course, do not expect any miracles at this price point. The paint job is likely to be decent, but outside of there, as you can see over there, outside of that, don't expect any weathering or shading of any sort, right? All of these, I can tell from these pictures, it is just flat painting. Well, there's a bit of a gloss finish over there, but at 5,000 yen, would say this is a great alternative to pop-up rate figures. Assuming that Mietos does proceed to make characters that you want, right? Back to this page, now we move on to the 16th of June, which is Friday. A few figures over here, but not many for the standards of a Friday. The first one over here from Genshin Impact, Apex Toys 1x7 scale Kamisato Ayaka Flawless Radiance version at 24,200 yen, which is kind of expensive actually. It is a bit on the high side in terms of the pricing compared to... Was Keqing that expensive? I can't remember anymore. I think Keqing is not even 24k. But anyways, this figure at 1x7 scale is relatively tall. I think, 29 centimeters. However, do remember that that is all the way to the top of her fan over there, the one in her left hand. So the actual figure, Yeah, it is closer to the standard 1x7, right? So I have a third-party unlicensed version of this rare figure. The review is coming up hopefully next week. Yeah, it is in production already. So this figure is not the very first figure of Kamisato Ayaka to exist, right? The same exact figure has a third-party unlicensed version that came out last year, sometime around there. But Apex here, they made some changes compared to the third-party version. I've mentioned this in a separate video just a couple of days ago. The link is right up here if you're interested to check it out. So you see the Apex version, the hair is coming down, it's not flying up. And actually, to prefer what Apex did with this figure of Ayaka, those are very small, subtle changes in addition to a better base, but those are good changes. I'm not sure if I like the hair flying up, you know? And this one looks more natural. And naturally, Apex Toys is going to do a far better job than any unlicensed third-party PVC figures out there that cost only a fraction, right? For fans of Genshin Impact, my opinion on this, a must-have. Yeah, go and pre-order one. She is top selling for a reason, right? This next item over here technically isn't a skill figure, but I would like to talk about it for a second because I'm seeing a lot of interest from you guys, especially those who follow my Facebook page when I posted about it. From Genshin Impact and Apex Toys, we have Hu Chao Chibi Chara Yura Yura stand, 2,500 yen. This is, how do I put it right? Very adorable, very cute, and probably a very small item. This is more of a novelty, you know. Maybe you can display it, put it on top of your PC, or even in the workplace at the office or something like that, right? It is just a very small decorative item, but very nice to look at. 2,500 yen is not a huge commitment either, so yeah, why not? Up next, from the Idolmaster Shiny Colors, we have Mano Sakuragi Hanakaze Smiley version 1x7 scale by Weavers Studio. 17,400 yen only. Weavers Studio should be a Chinese brand, right? I'm not too sure. Yes, it is a Chinese brand. You see, down here, there's this text over here, right? This product cannot be shipped to the flowing area, China. So this is a regional product, right? A Chinese brand, they are making the same figure, and probably there are two different packagings, two different boxes, and then maybe the bonus item is a bit different within China and in Japan. So this is more of a regional thing, regional restriction. If you buy this figure, pre-order this figure from China Taobao, for example, or you pre-order it from AmiAmi, there is likely to be slight differences between the two figures. Well, not the figure itself, but the packaging might differ, and in case there is any bonus, yeah, that might be different as well. So with this figure, Idolmaster Shiny Colors, well, I did not watch the anime. I'm thinking of giving it a try. I did watch Cinderella Girls and I enjoyed it. As for this character, it is kind of a unique character given the sheer amount of idol stuff out there. This one is blowing is it a flute? I'm not sure. I'm not good with musical instruments. And yeah, this isn't common. The colors are very pale, very washed out, but perhaps that is how the character looks like, the character design. However, at barely 17,000 yen, this is not a bad purchase for any Idolmaster fans. Yeah, it looks great, but at the same time, I know nothing about Weavers Studio. Up next, this is a pop-up rate of Hestia from Danmachi, 4,080 yen, and also Yamato Mikoto, also 4,080 yen. My comments are the same all the time. Do not pre-order a pop-up rate. Just wait until after release and pick one up. They're not too difficult to find, maybe except for Hololive stuff. Yeah. Mikoto right here is an interesting one in the sense that there are no figures of her in existence. If my memory serves me right, this is the very first one. And it had to be a pop-up rate. I kind of like her and her gravitational abilities in the anime. That is all for 16 June. Now we move down to 15th June on a Thursday. This is where we see Kotobukiya re-releasing a bunch of stuff. Some of them has been in high demand for a long time. Yeah. The first one here, we have Free Ink 1x4 Skill B style Ryoko Mikado, the infirmary teacher. Was it? Yeah, I think so. Into Love Rule Darkness, 38,500 yen, standard for 1x4 skill nowadays. Now for this very character, minor character, side character in the series, you don't have much choices. If you want all these less common characters from this series, yeah, definitely pre-order this one and pick one up because she won't be re-released a second time. Not without those stockings, right? They will remove the stockings if this one gets re-released. Yeah. It is interesting to see To Love Ru still having a lot of traction after all these years. The fan base is fantastic. Up next, we have Love Live Nijigasaki High School Idol Club Kasumi Nakasu at 1x7 skill by Plum. Plum and their lolly. Yeah. 23,100 yen is a bit pricey actually for this 1x7 skill over here. I mean, this is just a 1x7 skill figure on the base. Oh yeah, I think this is with an Ami bonus, right? Let me check again. Yeah, a B2 wall scroll is included with this price over here. Yeah, this is just a generic 1x7 skill figure. The yellow and I mean, look at the color scheme of this figure. Reminds me of some pastry or vegetable. Yeah. Not very familiar, you know. I mean, I watched the first Love Live series. I watched the Sunshine one. And then the third season, yeah, I didn't watch it. Maybe I should give it a try, but I haven't found the time to do so. By the way, there is a cheaper version without the Ami bonus for just under 20,000 yen. Yeah. So this one will only appeal to Love Live fans, I suppose. I'm not really interested. Up next, Mimosa Lilia, classical blue style 1x7 skill by Disitor, 21,670 yen. This is with Ami bonus. B2 wall scroll once again, and there is a cheaper version without the bonus for just under 17,000 yen. Now that's more like it, this price point over here. Because this figure, to be honest with you guys, how do I put it? Details are lacking. I could tell from these product photos itself, no? However, at 17,000 yen, right, I suppose that I can't complain too much. Yeah, I mean, look at the paintwork on the hair. It is just plain, flat, white. Well, not exactly white, but you get the point, right? Not much shading and gradient on the paintwork. However, the price point is okay for something like this. And for this company, Disitor, this is also a Chinese brand. As you can see, there is this statement over here. This product cannot be shipped to the following area, China. Once again, regional differences. Up next, Kotobukiya Art FXJ series. We have Dawn with third week from Pokemon. Only 11,000 yen. That is a great price for Pokemon collectors. In fact, I think this is a must-have for Pokemon fans, right? This thing is so cheap. I know that the figure is fairly small, I can tell already without checking the dimensions, but for 11,000 yen, what else can you ask for? Yeah, 20 centimeters, not bad actually, not bad at all. The next one here, the Witcher Bishoujo, Kotobukiya. The Witcher Geralt, 1x7 skill, 18,500 yen, more or less. And this one is coming out in February next year, not really a long wait. The Witcher, right. My favorite part of this figure is the base. For some reason, it looks really realistic over there. That mud rock with grass on it. Yeah, it looks fantastic. I think this is my favorite part of the figure, the base itself. The outfit, the texture as well. Is that chainmail armor? I'm not too sure, but I really love those textures over there. This isn't something I would normally collect. I won't buy it because I have other priorities, but all this entire package with this figure you're getting for so low a price point. This is a steal. Yeah, it is under 20,000 yen, you know. That is considered low nowadays. Up next, this is a re-release from my teen romantic comedy Snafu with Kotobukiya 1/8 scale Yui Yuigahama. 11,000 yen only after a discount. Well, not only Yui needs a re-release, the other character, what's her name again? Anyways, you guys know who I'm referring to. That one needs a re-release as well, and I do believe that it is coming soon, maybe in a week or two. I don't think Kotobukiya is going to re-release only Yui and leave things at that, right? So just wait for it. As for this figure, well, I can't really criticize it. Yeah, the paintwork and so on being flat, lacking details and so on, but for 11,000 yen, yeah, I would give Kotobukiya a break in this case and say go for it if you want a figure of Yui. I personally prefer the one made by Max Factory a few years ago, where she is in this devil outfit. Yeah, Halloween devil outfit. That one bargain binned for quite a bit back then, you know? Yeah, I prefer that one a bit just because the quality of the figure is a bit higher. Up next, another re-release from Kotobukiya, 02 from Darling in the France, 1/7 scale, also 11,000 yen only. Yeah, the most expensive part in manufacturing a figure is creating the mold, which is used for injection molding of these figures, right? They don't 3D print. 3D print is still an inferior way of making an object compared to injection molding. And the mold is the most expensive part. They already got it done during the first release. So a re-release technically costs less to make compared to the initial release. Yeah. Material cost may have gone up over the years, but Kotobukiya is keeping the price more or less similar as the first release. Very nice. If you missed out on this one back then and you want a figure of her, this is your second chance. Yeah, this figure of 02, very expensive in the aftermarket as well. Once again, I prefer the Max Factory one. Yeah, the nude one. Up next, from Kiseki series, Gwen or Ron. Anyways, Schwarzer 1/8 scale from Kotobukiya. This is also a re-release, 16,630 yen. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this series actually. But for 17,000 yen, right? Can't really go wrong given how well made the figure is. I mean, the amount of details you can see on the outfit, it is great. This character, in my opinion, it looks like that stereotypical main character in most isekai anime. Yeah. It feels like another slightly modified Kirito to me, you know? And the next one over here from the very same series, also a re-release, 1/7 scale Altina Orion. This one is only 13,400 yen by Kotobukiya as well. So yeah, Kotobukiya is going on a re-release spree this week, and I believe these 4 or 5 figures aren't the only ones. There will be more coming soon next week. Pretty plain and simple figure, very affordable. I think that is the most important part, given how a lot of figures nowadays are very unattainable to many people, right? So to see a lot of figures in 1 week, which are in the 10,000 to 16,000, 17,000 range is great. Lastly, for this day pop-up parade, Chiaki Nanami from Danganronpa, 4,560 yen, so she is like 500 yen more expensive than a typical pop-up parade because of that Barney Teddy down there. I kind of like what I'm looking at with this pop-up parade, but then again, wait for it, wait until after release. There's no need to pre-order a pop-up parade. And that is all for 15th June. Now we move up to 14th of June. There are several high quality scale figures over here, more re-releases as well. The first one, this is one of my favorite scale figures this week. Seishori Sister Petronil, illustration by Augur, 1/6 scale by Vibrasta. Alright, so there are 2 versions. This one is a very pricey 41,800 yen, and there's a cheaper version. Where is the cheaper version? The cheaper version is already sold out, I think. Because normally, there's a cheaper version that is around 25,000 yen or so. If it has disappeared from the front page of Ami, most likely it is already sold out. Let me check and see. Oh, down here there are related items. Oh, it is still available. Great, great. I have no idea why Ami removed it from the homepage. So as you can see, this is the standard version, 24,000 yen. But if you can afford it, I would highly recommend you guys to go for this 41,800 yen. Because you see, this package over here, you are getting 2 entire figures, right? So if one single figure is 24,000 yen, but 2 would be 48,000 yen, you're paying only 42,000 yen. So this is a bargain over here. Alright, so yeah, this is kind of not safe for work, but hey, I love this figure a lot. I mean, not just the pose and the outfit, but also the face expression over here. Let's look for picture. See, that face expression, I'm not sure how to describe it in words, but it is so attractive. Very mesmerizing face expression, I would say. And yeah, this over here, this casted off version, right? This is not part swapping. You're getting an entire second figure, which looks like this. So you don't have to take apart the figure and swap out all these parts, you know. You are getting 2 entire figures. I couldn't emphasize this enough. And for that very reason alone, 42,000 yen for 2 1x6 scale figures, this is value purchase. Yeah. You see, look at the descriptions down here. There are 2 figures. Main figure matte finish dressed version and main figure pearl paint nude version. Yeah, 2 entire figures. This is one of the best scale figures this week. Make no mistake. The next one here, of course, it had to be Q6, right? Either Q6 or A+, they make all these giant booby figures all the time. From Anataga no Zomunara, we have a 1x6 scale Kaori Asai. At this scale, 26,000 yen isn't too bad. Q6 is one of those B-tier companies, you know. The figures they make are kind of average. Don't expect it to be ultra high quality, but they do give you guys value, right? So at 1x6 scale, this price is not too bad. And of course, there are 2 different versions. They do it all the time. This is fair skin and dark hair. And then there is a 10th version, but blonde hair. Pick your poison. For me, I'm not into this kind of figures, right? And of course, they are cast-offable. I'm assuming you're swapping out an entire torso part. Up next, from Prisma Wing, there are 2 versions of this figure as well. Girls Frontline 416, Primrose Flavored Foil Candy version. This is the DX edition. 1x7 scale, 32,600 yen more or less, right? So the difference between this deluxe version and the standard version, yeah, the base. The standard version is 24,650 yen, quite a substantial difference. But then again, you see 1x7 scale plain figure like this, like it is just a very simple pose, just like this, with a plain round disc base. And this thing is almost 25,000 yen, which feels a bit overpriced to me, if I have to be honest with you guys. Of course, if you insist on getting one, this deluxe version is way better. As for Prisma Wing, actually their scale figures are quite good, though they do charge a premium for it. In the end, I just couldn't overlook the simple pose over here. Yeah. And for something from Girls Frontline, where is the rifle? Yeah, I would love to see her rifle being a part of this figure. I couldn't see it over here, so I'm not sure if I like this figure of 416. Up next, from Rebos, a Chinese company. They make great scale figures, by the way. Fox Spirit Matchmaker Susu Tushan Hongchen Qian Yuan. I'm not sure how to pronounce it in Chinese, right? 1x7 scale, this one is almost 22,000 yen and a great value. This is a really unique way to present a figure, to display a figure, where she is standing on what looks like manga to me. I would even go as far to say this one is also one of the best figures of this week, together with the Petronil figure earlier. Yeah. This one is for an entirely different reason. Very unique presentation. Very uncommon setup with Sea of Anime figures. We have some sort of a manga or a book opening up with all those pages flying over. I would love to review a scale figure by Rebos someday. I've only reviewed their low cost Rise Up figure, Amiya from Arknights. That's the only one single figure I reviewed. I would love to review their proper scale figure someday. This one has my attention. Next one, this is a re-release from Mega House. We have CC from Code Geass, just under 20,000 yen. Oh, this is Union Creative, not Mega House. The Mega House one went on re-release and pre-order last week. This one is by Union Creative. So if you are somehow interested in this figure, very simple, just head over to myfigurecollection.net, look for this figure and check out user photos. If you are fine with it, then go ahead and pre-order one. Yeah, I know that Union Creative, we all like to say that their quality control can be a hit or miss, but for re-releases, at least you have a very good reference from user photos out there. I kind of like this figure of CC as well. However, when you look at her from the top, yeah, this view over here, it also looks a bit weird at the same time. To me, the Mega House version is a bit better in this regard, the pose department. Up next, this is also a re-release, and I'm actually surprised a plain JK figure like this is popular enough to demand a re-release. But what do I know, right? The situation in Japan, the fan base over there is completely different everywhere else. So also from Union Creative, we have Kantoku Sailor Fuku no Manaka at 21,000 yen. Yes, this is a re-release, and then I've told you guys so many times I love JKs. Yeah, I love the uniform and so on. But then this one, exceedingly simple. Too simple to me. This thing being popular enough to get a re-release is quite the mystery to me. Maybe it has to do with people liking the artist and his or her artworks, right? That is all for 14th of June. Now we are on the 13th of June. Alright, so two scale figures over here. This went on pre-order last week in niningame.com. Well, not exactly on pre-order, more like a coming soon label. You still couldn't purchase it. Now she is available for pre-order. 26,400 yen, Tai Ho wedding version from Azerlane. 1/6 scale. This is made by Anigame. Anigame is also a Chinese brand, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no. No, I don't think so. This should be a Japanese brand. Correct me if I'm wrong though. There are way too many new figure brands nowadays. And as I mentioned in my previous coverage last week, this is a great pre-order, a must-have. 29cm tall. So if you like this figure, despite the plain and bland color, this is just black and white and skin color, the body proportions and the sculpting appear to be top-notch, and that alone is worth your attention, worth the pre-order. Yeah, the body proportions is great, but we'd love to see what the final product is like. And then we have Senkan Shoujo Quincy, The Promise of Mayflowers, 1/7 scale by Unknown Model. First time I'm seeing this brand as well, Unknown Model. What I do know is that this is a Chinese brand. Ami specifically mentions that this item is a provisional pre-order. Whenever we see the words provisional pre-order in Ami, 99% of the time it is because this is a Chinese brand and they are uncertain how much inventory, how much stock they can acquire. I have no idea what this character is, but even putting aside the identity of the character, this is like another wedding version figure to me. Yeah, there isn't much going on with this figure. Doesn't stand out, doesn't feel special in any way. So only you guys who know something about this character and want a figure of this very character would go for it. But this is a big nope for me. The third figure on this day, we have Virtual Idol Sister Vocal version. This is by Animaster. 8,030 yen, a very low cost figure, 1/7 scale. From what I remember, Animaster placed a figure on pre-order a month ago. That thing was like pop-up rate pricing, right? And it was 1/6 scale. Yeah, I think I remembered correctly. So this brand is going around making low-cost scale figures. And this thing going for 8,000 yen, seriously, because this isn't easy to manufacture. I mean, there is quite a bit of details going on her outfit. You see those gold color chains that are attached to these ornaments around the edges of her dress? Those are not simple to manufacture, which makes it all the more surprising that this thing is only 8,000 yen. At least in these product photos, she looks fabulous. Of course, what matters more is the final product, so only time will tell, right? And that is all for figures on pre-order on the 13th of June. No figures on 12th of June, Monday. And then now we jump into niningame.com for a second. As usual, there are those X-rated figures, those Nikan Shoujo figures by Insight, which you should check out on your own. They are very X-rated. Yeah, this one over here, Nikan Shoujo Married Girlfriend Yuri, 1/6 scale, 2 different versions. Go and check it out yourself. Though once again, I can't recommend the figures by this brand. Here we have a figure of Shizuku at 1/7 scale from Morcheck. This is a re-release. Very surprising, isn't it? A B-full 4th Japan figure, which breaks all the time, which has substandard quality when it comes to manufacturing, details, paintwork, anything you can think of, they screw up somewhere, and yet she is popular enough to get a re-release. Obviously, there are masochist figure collectors out there who would not care how the figure turns out as long their favorite illustration or character gets made into a figure. Yeah, there's a second version over here where she is partially undressed for the same price, 16,200 yen. Also a re-release, and then yeah, this is the school uniform version. So this partially undressed version, yeah, I would prefer this one, right? Sometimes less clothes is better. If I had to choose, this one looks a bit more unique than the other version. Yeah, after all, both are JKs. And what is better than a JK which is partially undressed, right? No, stay away from B-full and 4th Japan. Just stay away. And then the next one over here, this is an Aniplex exclusive. If you go to Aniplex Plus website, yeah, it is on the homepage. You can check it out over there. However, Aniplex Plus, just like Native, they don't ship to every country. In case they don't ship to your country, then you can head over to niningame.com. Yeah, they offer it. You can pre-order it from this website. Though at the point of reporting right now, you only get a soon available button over here. She is not fully available for pre-order yet. Sometime next week, you can pre-order it on niningame.com. But anyways, let's check out the figure. Iliasviel von Einsborn. I always struggle to pronounce her name. 1/7 scale roomwear version by Aniplex, and this is a collaboration with another company, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Chara Ani? Can't remember. Right. This figure, wow. This is fantastic. The other one is Chloe. And of course, if you were to decide to pre-order this figure, you need both. Go for both. It doesn't make sense to just get either one, right? Candy colors. This is so adorable. I'm a Fate series fan. I'm a Type Moon fan, but Fate Colored Liner has never been my priority all these years. This pair of figure together with Chloe is so freaking tempting. Yeah. My favorite version is still the Amakuni one where they are almost nude, and yeah, that very version which will trigger any SJW on Twitter. That is still my favorite one. This one is a close second place. Yeah, go for it. The amount of details on this figure is no joke. Look at that. This is great. I know that this figure looks kind of girly, which is not something normally a guy would like, but for us figure collectors, we are a different breed, right? 30,000 yen is really pricey. Yeah, 30k each, 60,000 yen for both. But then I would say this is a good figure to go for. Hopefully Aniplex and whichever company that works with them together on this figure, they do deliver in the quality department. And that is all for anime scale figures on pre-order this week. Now we shall move over to this channel's partner shop, OzJK, to check out third-party resin figures. So when you scroll down, there is this, newest pre-orders section. I have already picked out the figure I want to cover. As usual, I won't be covering every single figure because there are way too many. I'm skipping past male characters, Though there are a very select few rare exceptions because, they are popular stuff like Genshin, then I will talk about it for a second. So the first one over here from Verve Studio, we have Yadomaru Lisa from Death Boundary Bleach. I don't exactly watch Bleach, or most shonen stuff. So this one is only $157 must be a 1/6 scale. 1/6 scale at 31 centimeters tall. Technically, this is also a JK figure, but not really up my alley with this one over here. Oh, that is an interesting look. The lighting they used on this figure is so harsh. Even though I like JKs, in the end you still need to look at the character design, and this isn't my kind of figure really. Up next, we have 8th Days Studio, that's so difficult to pronounce. Yamato from One Piece, and the full price of this is supposedly $157, but the company, the studio behind this figure has not released any pictures yet, just a real picture, a real teaser picture. So I can't really recommend pre-ordering until we see more photos of the very same figure over here. At 1/6 scale, this is 27 centimeters. Up next, this is a licensed resin figure, by the way. From PJ Studio and Dodowo Studio, we have a 1/4 scale Kurumi from Naraka Blade Point Otaku Hanaori. So there is no official pricing yet, only a $100 deposit. There seems to be a huge amount of these 1/4 scale figures, right, which are very Chinese in terms of the theme and the setup. How many figures have I seen in the past month alone that looks like this figure? At first glance, they look incredible, right? They look exceptional for any statue, any resin figure out there. But then when every figure company starts following and copying each other, we will reach a point where things become too boring, too repetitive, and I'm beginning to see this pattern happen to resin figures, especially this Chinese origin stuff, right? It might be from an MMORPG in China, a Chinese game, or it could be a Chinese anime origin. I think they're starting to become a bit too repetitive, but how long have I been reporting on resin figures? I think only for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, right? And I already felt that it is way too much, Up next, this is a good one. From Goose Factory Studio, we have Nezuko and Tanjiro. This one is 1/6 scale and $287. Not many pictures over here, but this is, a replica of what we saw in the first episode of Season 1, Kimetsu no Yaiba. So how do I put it? This scene over here is very iconic, and I can see a number of Demon Slayer fans picking up this figure over here. It is not the most extravagant figure, it is not the most detailed one, it is not huge that attracts everyone's attention, but then because this is based on an iconic scene, I can see this resin figure selling quite a few. And for the price of $287, 21 centimeters tall, 1/6 scale, I would say the price is quite fair over here. Up next, from Absinthe Studio, I haven't posted this one in my Facebook page because there are no pictures yet. From Blue Archive, Asuma Toki, Bunny Girl version. This one, no official price yet, $100 deposit. This is no scale mentioned too, but I'm guessing here 1/4 scale. I'm just guessing. Of course, this is X-rated and castable. I'm not going to click on the other picture because I'm lazy to censor it. Anyways, wait for more pictures before deciding on whether to pre-order it. Up next, from Freedom Studio, we have Big Finger from Attack on Titan. This one is going for $268, and I think that half of that amount you're paying for goes to the base. Yeah. Freedom Studio, I remember them best for this Attack on Titan series figures, right? They have made quite a number of different characters from this series, and all of them have this dull color look, which I am not a fan of at all, right? So with this figure over here, this looks like, how do I put it? A woman with mental issues just crawling on the ground. Yeah. That is what it feels like to me when I look at this figure. I can't recommend this one because of the colors alone. Yeah, it is kind of dull over here. The next one over here, this is a pretty good one, even though I'm not a fan of Made in Abyss. Like, the anime wasn't really my kind of anime despite the positive reviews out there. From 3D Alchemist Studio and Tenshiha Studio, we have Nanaji and Belaf. Made in Abyss, this is a 1/6 scale. The full price would be $433. Kind of pricey, right? Yeah, but for a reason. This is expensive for a reason. This looks fantastic. And this is one of those examples where a third-party resin figure surpasses the genuine licensed ones out there. I mean, have we seen any Made in Abyss figures that are at this level from genuine figure companies? I don't think so. This is truly among the best figure of Nanaji I've seen so far. $440 is tough. Yes, it is very expensive. Same thing for me. I feel that it is very expensive. But I can see the reason why this thing costs so much, right? For the biggest Made in Abyss fans, go for this one. This is worth it. We could only hope that the company behind this figure delivers in the quality department, right? It is always a 50-50 chance. It is always a gamble when we pre-order or purchase a third-party resin figure. The next one here, this is a bust. From JW Studio, we have Unohana Retsu from Death Boundary Bleach. This thing is only 24 centimeters, which is fairly small by the standards of a bust. And it is being reflected by the pricing, $136 only. Do you guys collect bust figures? I know some of you go for 1/6, 1/4, even 1/2 scale or even life-sized bust figures. Like only the head and the upper torso, you know, no arms, no abdomen and nothing, and you have a huge bust over there on the table. Do you collect bust? Let me know down in the comments below. Personally, I'm not a fan of them. Yeah. And to me, the whole point of collecting a bust figure is to have it in a very large scale, preferably life-sized. So I don't really understand the point of the existence of a bust figure which is so small. Maybe there is a demand for it, I'm not sure, but personally I wouldn't bother. If I wanted a bust figure, I would like it to be a lot larger, even though it may be pretty expensive. Up next, from Mandala Studio, we have Anya Forger from Spy Family. The full price is only $98, but this thing is only 12 centimeters tall, about slightly bigger than an Android. So this is also one of those resin figures which I would say I can't recommend at all. This is just a small one and you're paying $98 for this. I would say add on about $30 or so, right? And go and purchase or pre-order the Your Forger and Anya Forger set by Good Smile Company at 1/7 scale. Yeah, that makes more sense to me because not every resin figure is equal, right? Some are very expensive, some are just outright overpriced, which is the case with this one over here, and there are those that offer you great value. So this Anya, can't recommend it at all. The next one here, this is one of the Degenerate figures of this week, but not the top one. There's something worse coming very soon. Tianyan Studio 1/6 scale Kamado Nezuko from Demon Slayer. The full price for this one is $388. Not too bad really. I'm actually interested in knowing what kind of material they use for all those strings that are tying her up. Like, you know, this picture over here, this setup, this figure, it doesn't really make much sense because Nezuko is a demon. She is really strong. She can kick your head off with one single swing of her leg. Yet you're tying her up in this bondage position. Yeah, let's just call it bondage position. And she somehow couldn't escape this situation, this predicament over here. I'm not really sure. Unless those strings are, the one used by that lower 6 demon that I forgot his name already, but you get my point. That episode 19 thing, Unless it is those kind of threats, I don't see Nezuko getting stuck in such a position and being unable to escape. So this is purely fan service, naturally. And for $388, considering you're getting a tree branch and that huge rock base over there, I would say the price isn't too bad. But then unfortunately, there are not enough pictures yet. This is the only picture over here. So if you are somehow interested, wait for more pictures before pre-ordering. Up next, okay, this figure over here, this is a licensed PVC figure, which is really weird. You see, I think Ami placed this figure on pre-order on the homepage very briefly, and then they removed the listing somehow. I'm not sure. Did Bandai tell them that this figure is not ready for pre-orders yet? I'm not sure, because the listing is gone not only in Ami but in every Japanese website. So from BN figure, we have Lacus Klein. This should be 1/7 scale, I think. The scale here isn't mentioned. I'm guessing 1/7. Alright, and if you have never heard of BN figure before, that is Bandai Namco. Yeah, very uncreative name over there. The price of this figure of Lacus, $60 for real. Okay, $60, this can't be 1/6. This is probably 1/10 or 1/12, right? Anyways, let's have a look at the pictures. Oh my god, the pictures are so small and low resolution. Anyways, we'll talk about this figure again once she officially goes on pre-order in Japanese websites. No point talking about it now, without all the extra information. So many missing information over here. Up next, this is the Degenerate figure of the week. This is something you guys would either love or hate. So from Celluloid Studio, we have Soryu Asuka Langley from Neon Genesis Evangelion. No price yet, only a $100 deposit. If you are a fan of watching Asuka enjoying herself while she has a diarrhea, this is the figure for you. Go for it and pre-order one, because this figure is so unique that I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. Yes, do you see all of the censored stuff over there? I'm not sure if that is green tea or chocolate milkshake, or perhaps both. But if you are into this kind of thing, pre-order it. You know, I'm not sure how am I going to review this figure, assuming I have to get my hands on one, because this is just hilarious and cringe-worthy to look at the same time. I'm guessing this figure to be somewhere around $350 to $450, because right now the scale is not even mentioned over here. This could be a 1/6 or 1/4. I would say 1/6 is more likely, which places her in the $300 to $400 price bracket over here. So these Chinese words over here, 排泄的快感, basically it means the ecstasy of excretion. So if you are into excretion fetishism, this is the perfect figure for you. Would you buy something like this? Please do let me know down in the comments below. Up next, from Corgi Prop Kit Studio and The Talent Studio, we have Diablo Amazon Warrior 1/4 scale. I'm assuming this is an original character. So the full price on this one, $450, which at 1/4 scale, this is one of those resin figures that give you guys some extra value over there, right? Because this is a fairly detailed figure. Okay, so we take a look at some of the pictures over here. This is like one of those realistic looking game characters. So this thing is 57 centimeters tall, including the base over there. This entire package, including that shield and the spear, $450. Yeah, not bad at all. At the same time, I don't collect this type of statue. Like, I don't have a reason to. But at the same time, these are really products of art. Is that the same shield used by Leonidas in Fate Grand Order? Yeah, I think it is the same shield. This is one of the best resin figures this week. I would say top 5 best. Up next, okay, this one is not exactly a pre-order. This one is already in stock. Greatstone Studio Genshin Impact. What's his name again? Zhongli. Yeah, Zhongli. So this one is $411 US at 1/6 scale. 32 centimeters, not really too bad, but this looks more like a digital image rather than a picture of the actual figure. And of course, this is also one of those figures where I can remove the lower part of the body and put a huge dong over there, you know. Yeah, two different face expressions over here, Act Edition and ACG Edition. Very small difference. There you go. It is censored, of course, but this is one of those figures to satisfy the fangirls. Up next, from Unique Art Studio, we have the King of Fighters, Mai Shiranui. This is a licensed statue, by the way, and the full price for this one, $850. Ouch. This should be a 1/6 scale, $850. I suppose that is licensed resin statues for you. They are really expensive. If I wanted a statue of Mai Shiranui, I would go for the one I covered last week. Yes, that one, where she is in her trademark outfit in an action fighting pose because she is from an arcade fighting game. That makes more sense. Why would I go for this one over here, wedding outfit, which is white color for most of the figure, and pay $850 for it? I have no idea. Perhaps for the most hardcore Mai Shiranui fans out there who would buy every single figure of her. Yeah. To me, I don't see much sense in buying this one compared to other versions of Mai Shiranui. There are also licensed genuine PVC figures of her out there at a way lower cost. A lot of options for this character. The next one here from Haobo Studio, Street Fighter 2 Chun-Li, 1/4 scale, $386 US. This one right here is for you guys who love thick thighs, thigh enthusiast. Yeah, this is perfect for you. Oh, you're getting two different outfits. Now, that $386 US is beginning to seem like a bargain to me. Yeah. If you like big, thick thighs, Chun-Li is like a trademark for that. And this one, assuming they do get the face right once again, not a bad purchase really. The next one here, aha, Taimanin Asagi. You don't see figures from this series that often. AC Studio Action Taimanin Uehara Rin. This is, what the scale? 1/4 scale, nice. So that is type A and type B. For type A, which is this standing pose over here, she is $600 US. Type B, this one over here, fan service stuff, this one is $542 US. If I had to choose, I would go for type A, yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at the figure for a moment. Taimanin Asagi, I would be plenty content with the one made by Amakuni. Yeah, this one right here I'm putting on screen. I do like this one a lot. For this version over here, this is a much higher end statue. For those of you with very deep pockets, yeah, this might be an option, but for me, yeah, I have made this clear so many times. I don't like giant TDs, right? And with this one over here, yeah, this is a nope for me, simply because of the body proportions. If the body proportions are being toned down a bit, like not as extreme as what we're getting over here, then perhaps this figure would appeal to me a bit more. Okay, so I'm not putting the type B on screen because it is very not safe for work. Go and check it out yourself. Links are in the descriptions below for every single resin figure I'm covering today, as usual. Up next, this is the best resin figure for this week. From AU Studio, we have a 1/4 scale Kamado Nezuko. So many Demon Slayer figures this week. So this one is this battle suit version you're looking at, which is her default outfit. $545 US at 1/4 scale. Not too bad really, given the amount of details you're getting. And then there is the swimsuit version. Yeah, this is the swimsuit version. This one is going for $545 US as well, same price. Or you can go for a set of two. A set of two, $866 US. Obviously, this is the best value. Yeah, if I have 850 US dollars, more like 1,000 US dollars lying around, I might seriously consider one, but I'm not the kind of person to drop 1,000 US dollars on a statue. Okay, so let's have a look at the pictures over here. To me, this one does not stand out as much. If I were to go for this figure, I'm plenty content with only the battle suit version and leave out the swimsuit version, because in the end, this is just a bikini figure. Yeah. As usual with third-party resin figures, when it comes to sculpture of the body, they always do a great job. And as long as they get the face done right, and the QC department, of course, with the paint work, then they are worth considering. Alright, yeah, this battle suit version, I like this one a lot. How can you say no to something like this, assuming you can afford one? I know that I have mentioned it so many times that I don't like realistic looking faces, but you know, there are always exceptions, and I think this figure here looks great. Even the swimsuit version looks great as well, just that if I had to choose, naturally I would go for the battle suit version. This is the resin figure of the week for sure, and one that I can highly recommend if you have the money to burn. Yeah, that sums up about this figure over here. Next one over here, yeah, more degenerate figures. I'm bringing up a few figures this week in this category, degenerate category, even though this is a male character from Dig Studio. Seriously, Dig Studio? The Legend of Zelda Link, no price yet, only a 100 US dollar deposit. No skill mentions, but I'm guessing 1x4 over here. So if you're in this kind of thing, yeah, maybe pre-order one, right? Up next, this is from TOC Studio, and I'm bringing him up simply because this is from Genshin Impact, Tartaglia. So the full price for the gold standard configuration is 311 US dollars. I'm guessing 1x6 scale over here. And there is an upgrade package for 351 US dollars. I think you're getting some extra accessories. We'll have a look. You're getting an additional blanket, right? A different base and some minor additional accessories, I'm assuming, over here. So let's check out the figure for a bit. Figures like this, they do have a market for it. I mean, if we guys can have our big TD anime figures with a pink slit down there for our enjoyment, why can't the girls have their own enjoyment with male characters with a huge dong down there, right? It makes total sense. So this is the kind of figure that a lot of Japanese companies that make licensed figures are unwilling to make. Well, Native has a few male characters with X-rated features, but outside of that, yeah, I can't recall many. So this is one of those markets, niche markets, where third-party resin figures are trying to cater to. Up next, from Jime Palace Studio, this is a licensed figure by the way, we have Windsmoke Reiju from One Piece. This one is going for 820 US dollars. 1x4 scale, of course. Yeah, the craftsmanship on this resin figure, this is top 3 best of the week as well. Yeah, maybe because I am biased, I'm not that big of a fan of One Piece and Bleach and so on, but technically this would be the better resin statue than Nezuko earlier. But anyways, top 3 best resin figure of the week right here, and she looks fantastic, the colors and so on, right? This is among the best One Piece resin statues out there I've seen in a long while. This is fantastic. If you have, let's just say 1,000 US dollars, because you need to factor in shipping, yeah, this is a great figure to have for any One Piece fans. Up next, this is the head scratcher of the week, right? From New Life Studio, we have Ram from ReZero. So this one is going for almost 700 US dollars at 1x4 scale. Let me ask you guys a very simple question. Since when this is Ram? This looks like a random girl with a blue color hair who is calling herself Ram. Yes, of course, this is going to be customable, otherwise they won't sell enough of them. Yeah, this is huge. 59 centimeters. Is this larger than 1x4? This feels like 1/3 scale when this thing is so huge despite a sitting post. But anyways, since when this is RAM? Let me repeat myself. Up next, this is a licensed resin figure. Animaster Studio, we have Shiranui from Omnioji, Wing Company. They also made a PVC figure of the very same character. Yeah. So the full price for this one, $535. This is 1/5 scale. Not bad actually. 500 plus USD for a 1/5 scale. Looks amazing. Very sophisticated figure. Just that we could only hope this thing arrives in one piece after she is being shipped across half the planet. Especially those of you guys who are in the EU, UK, US and you buy something like this, you know. I would be so fearful of the figure. Hopefully she arrives in one single piece, but this one right here, yeah. Top 3, top 5 best resin figure of the week as well. And this is not just the best resin figure of the week, surely based on, you know, the craftsmanship. In terms of the value proposition, I mean, $535 is a lot of money. But when you look at the entire package over here, I would say the value is there. Up next, from Yomi Studio, we have Temari from Naruto. This one is going for $269. Presumably 1/6 scale. Yes, 1/6 scale. Her face looks nice. Yeah, of course, this is going to be customable. A lot of resin figures, they are customable even if they don't always advertise it. Not a very detailed figure to be honest, but at 1/6 scale, you're getting 2 sets of torso parts, you know, for you to swap out. And with that base over there, yeah, not a bad value proposition overall for this figure. Up next, this is also a licensed resin figure from Proof Studio. Yeah, Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. This one is going for almost $400. So I'm guessing 1/6 scale over here given there are 2 characters. 25 centimeters tall, no scale mentioned. Yeah, that is 1/6 basically. There hasn't been many Full Metal Alchemist figures in recent years other than pop-up rates. Yeah, I think once in a while Mega House or Bandai would do something about this series, but if you want something a bit more premium, large figure, then this one is an option as well. Since this is a licensed statue, licensed resin figure, the quality is not going to be too bad. I can see them doing a great job with this figure, right? This isn't an overly complex figure. Up next, from Dodomo Studio, we have 1/6 scale Makima from Chainsaw Man. This one is going for $236. And I was being told that this is one of the best selling resin figures this past week in terms of the sheer number of pre-orders being received, right? And I can certainly see why. I mean, Dodomo Studio, they are not off to a very good start, given that I have reviewed their Marin Kitagawa figure and they failed to get such a simple plain figure done right. The eyes are not aligned properly, right? So I'm not very sure about this figure of Makima. Surely enough, if we are getting exactly as promised by these pictures over here, these official product photos, I can see how this Makima figure is almost a must-have, because, you know, all those official figures of Makima, they are like very, very plain and boring somehow. All they show you guys is blood and gore, because that is what Chainsaw Man is about. And this figure of Makima makes her look a lot more sexier, a lot more attractive in a way. Yeah, not really surprised by how this one is selling quite well. Up next, from Chikara Studio, we have Sakura Kinomoto from Card Captor Sakura. This one is going for $390. 33 centimeters tall, so this is more like 1/6 scale. Personally, I would still go for the one made by Good Smile Company a number of years ago. Yeah, that one was an exclusive, and I'm not sure if that one is very expensive now in the aftermarket. Or I think Kotobukiya also had a figure of Sakura that went on pre-order not too long ago. That one was like 16,000 yen or so, very affordable. Yeah. Up next, from Super Daddy Studio. What a name. This is an original character, original selfie Haru. And this one is going for 328 US dollars. The size of this figure 45 centimeters, so I'm guessing this is a 1:4 scale. Not many pictures over here, go and check it out yourself. I mean, yeah, the thing is censored anyway, right? But then this character is not very attractive to me for an original character. Up next, this is one of the best value of the week among resin figures. So from Spy Family and RGB Studio, this is 1:2 scale Anya Forger and 102 US dollars. You see the problem over here? Earlier I covered an Anya figure which is this small and that thing is 100 US dollars. This is also 100 US dollars except that she is huge. Now this is something I can totally recommend to those of you low budget figure collectors. For example, you have a lot of pop-up parades, you have a lot of price figures, and the most expensive scale figures you have are around the 120 US dollar range, you know. Like you buy Good Smile Company 15,000, 16,000 yen PVC figures, you buy Kotobukiya at FXJ, yeah, you can't pay too much for a scale figure in general. This is something I can totally recommend you guys to pick one up to be the centerpiece of your collection. You have something that looks expensive to be the main highlight of your collection, yet she isn't actually expensive. Yeah, 57 centimeters, this is the size of a 1:3 scale Dolphy Dream BJD doll. Yeah, pick one up. Seriously, you should pick one up, especially if you like Spy Family. Up next, from Sunbird Group Studio, we have Genshin Impact Fashion Clothes version Yaemiko. So many figures of Yaemiko. This one is going for 144 US dollars only at 1:6 scale for a very good reason, because this is a very plain and simple figure. In fact, now when I look at this picture over here, this specific picture, this looks more like, unfortunately, pop-up rate quality paintwork. Like this is just flat painting with no shading. At least she is only 144 US dollars, so you're getting what you pay for. They did not overprice this thing. I'm a bit concerned about the face. Hopefully they do get the eyes positioned correctly with the final product. Up next, from Starry Sky Studio, we have USS St. Louis from Azerlane. This one is a 1:6 scale. Oh, 405 US dollars, should be 1:4. Yes, 1:4 scale, my bad. Right. So this 1:4 scale figure of St. Louis looks great initially, but then there were a few of you guys who told me that you don't like the face. I can totally understand why. To me, the face and the eyes especially look a bit weird. 400 US dollars, right, for 1:4 scale, and you're getting that huge chair over there. In terms of the value proposition, this isn't a bad purchase, but for the face, the eyes especially, I'm not very sure. However, if you could overlook the face, maybe this could be something subjective. Some of you guys might be okay with the face, some of you are not. This could be a good pre-order steal. It really depends on personal taste on whether this one tickles your fancy or not. And the final resin figure of this week, let's end it with another Degenerate figure. Neon Genesis Evangelion Eva Kinky Party by Yin Yuan Studio, 1:6 scale. This one is going for 330 US dollars, which isn't bad at all, right? 3 figures for 330 US dollars in this position, this huge orgy party over here, which no genuine figure brands would ever make. Anyways, you can go and check out the pictures yourself. 330 bucks is a bargain over here, and if you are into this sort of thing, huge Yuri party, yeah, pick one up. And that concludes this week's anime figure and resin figure pre-order news for 13th of June to 17th of June. Which one will you pre-order this week? Let me know down in the comments below, and thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video today, please do give this video a like and consider subscribing to this channel. It does not cost you anything and it helps out this channel a lot to grow further. Once again, thank you very much and see you again soon. Goodbye.